So 10 years you've been in the online space, growing your presence and your popularity. If
Yes.
you had to ballpark how much money you've lost towards online fraud, impersonation, the YouTube channel, all the nonsense that you've encountered, what do you think that number is?
I would say probably a couple 100,000.
Hey, it's your girl Kaylee Nitchie, and I'm so happy to be back with season 2 of the Just Lookin' Out podcast. In season 1, we talked a lot about me and my insane experience with romantic deception after being catastrophically duped by a guy that I met on the dating apps. It was so important to me to share the juicy and heartbreaking details with you and the journey I took to self-heal and now live my very best life. Y'all, the positive feedback and support have been beyond. I feel so blessed to have this community and have loved getting all of your comments and DMs to my socials. With all the messages that poured in over the course of season 1, I soon realized online scams and fraud are happening to so many of us, spanning so many different kinds of deceptions, not just related to dating apps like mine. So in season 2, you can expect to hear a wide range of stories from awesome guests, including their personal experiences getting duped, impersonated, or scammed online. I hope these stories will spread awareness around the frequency and complexity of online deception and help us move forward in this modern digital world so we can stay safer, healthier, and happier. Ayo, Cheo, welcome to
Hey.
Just Looking Out. Thank you so much for being on today's episode.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Absolutely super excited and pumped for this conversation, and I just kind of want to jump right into it.
Yes, let's jump in.
Okay, cool. So, Cheo, for everyone listening, can you tell us about your background and how you became a part of this influencer world?
Yes, so my name is Jose de los Santos, but most people know me as Cheo. I'm from a town called Haverhill, Massachusetts, which is just a town that's 35 minutes north of Boston. I got into intro to the influencer world by a group called FaZe Clan. FaZe Clan is a gaming organization. At the time, it was just a group of kids that were just playing to have fun, and it turned out to be a huge organization. My brother was originally a part of the group FaZe Clan, and I jumped in trying to be like a father figure because I would go and visit them all the time and see how chaotic it was at the house, where they like, because it was just literally a bunch of group of kids. It was 7 kids from the age of 16 to 21 at the time, and they were living life freely and amazing, but a little too chaotic. So when I would come over, I would like pretty much be the dad of the house, and I just came up with an idea of helping them become more structured and consistent with their content. And by doing that, it was cooking them breakfast, lunch, and dinner, became the chef of the house, and then eventually like help managing the house to with their scheduling for content and whatsoever. And it changed my life forever. Literally, I went from I want to say like 2,500 followers on Instagram to gaining like 2 to 5,000 a week just from joining the group because they would uh, obviously put me in their videos and then shout me out all the time. And yeah, that's how I grew my platform was with the guys from Face Clan.
So, you were Papa Cheo
Papa
in
Cheo.
the Phase Mansion, if you will, cooking
Yes.
food, very vegan focused, if I had that correctly.
No, to be honest, I became vegan 5 years ago, so it was prior to the Face House. But I would definitely make them home style. I would make them feel like they were at home when I would cook for them. I wouldn't do anything too extravagant, but I would cook them healthier meals or just meals that were good for that just made them feel like they were back home, so their favorite meals.
I love that. Okay, so you didn't have much social media presence before going into the house, and then all of a sudden you're becoming very popular online. Take us back to the moment when you realized, oh my God, I'm blowing up online. Things will be different from here on out.
It happened like right away. So the first the first day officially started working with them, FaZe Adapts put me on his video introing saying I was the new chef of the house. And that moment, I just started getting instant notifications. I had to turn my notifications off because it was killing my battery. It was kind of crazy. And literally everywhere I would go from back home, and we were living in New York at the time. It wasn't the mansion. It was the Face House in New York. It was a smaller. It was a four-bedroom house, but it was a very homely house. A neighborhood, quiet neighborhood that they kind of didn't make it quiet anymore. The neighbors hated us, but fans would come to the house every day, 8 to 10 hours a day, knocking
They
on the
would just show
door.
up.
They would just show up. Fans created a Google Meet day, like so or whenever they would search for the house, they would say we had visiting hours, we had a club, Cheo would cook for this time for you. So people would come to the house and just ask the most ridiculous stuff. Even families, their parents would drive them 6, 7 hours to the house to see us and get, autographs. And to the guys, it's like, this is our home. Like, we kind of want to keep it a little private, but obviously it didn't work out.
Okay, so
So,
you're like very much telling everybody where you live. They're stopping by. Tell me about the single craziest thing that you saw while you were at the Face House.
so I was always putting out fires at the house, but the biggest fire I was putting out was raids. Police would raid the house pretty frequently. I think we might have set the record for the state of New York for police raids in a month because they were coming so often that they took my number down to call me whenever they would come, and so it could just be an easier process. Because they would come in when they first started coming, it was guns blazing, and it's kind of a scary moment. We're with
Sure.
just a bunch of kids, and I'm the oldest in the house, and for this to happen, like I'm just like straight panic. So I want to say that was probably the craziest moments where, like in the beginning, is the police raids because we don't know what they're there for. So we would have fans, or you could say little trolls, calling in raids to towards the house where they would say like the phase guys were either kidnapping somebody, holding somebody hostage, or just doing something really insane for the police to come and SWAT the house. And I was the one that was putting out the fires, and I don't know how to control that situation because we're not troublemakers. They're just kids just recording their videos and having fun. They weren't
Sure.
doing anything bad, so it was scary. It was a scary moment.
So,
Uh,
because you were kind of revered as like the calm, mature one of the house, the police would reach out to you and just get a pulse check on the severity of why something was being called in.
yes, because the guys were terrible with responding to the house. Like literally, one of them was asleep the whole time, and the cops were like almost kicked in his door. Luckily, he picked it up. Opened the door at the end, but it was scary because we're trying to tell him he's sleeping. He's a heavy sleeper. He's not gonna wake up for anything. And they're kicking. They were literally starting to kick the door, and I was like, "Oh my God!" And then he opened up, and they were literally freaked out and just pulled him out. And at the end, they realized we weren't holding anybody captive or anything, so they realized just to contact me and just let me know we're gonna go through a process.
Okay, so that was about, could we say a decade ago?
Yes,
And yeah,
2016.
so since then, you've really become very popular and notable in the influencer world. And I just kind of want to talk about the various channels that you're on and the kinds of content people can expect to find where you are, whether it's TikTok or Facebook. Talk to me about the platforms.
So my main platforms have been Instagram. I did start a YouTube channel, not as consistent as I wanted to be on it, but it was my main channel was Instagram, where I would post the majority of like my food content. I jumped into a lifestyle. Right now, I am currently preparing for a run from Los Angeles to Vegas. So
Okay,
that's
I
been
just want to
my
pause. Say
yes,
those two cities again because I saw this on Insta and thought it was
yes.
absolutely wild. You are going to run from the city of Los Angeles to Las Vegas, Nevada. Is that correct?
Yes, sounds crazy. It's about 300 miles. I'm not running it completely by myself. I do have a team. It's going to be a team of six, three
Okay.
guys, three girls. So the amount of miles I'm gonna do is still ridiculous. It's about
Yeah, 50?
40 to 60 miles, depending on workload, depending if somebody gets hurt. I got, run
Oh.
for them. There's a whole bunch of challenges that are gonna be a part of this race.
And
I
why are
can't.
we doing this?
Um, Running has been, I want to say, a big part of like an outlet for me for like dealing with stress and depression, and I realized it more and more as like I would go through my waves. Running has always been a good turning point for me to get back into my positive space. And it was funny because this race particularly was brought up to me, and we joked about doing it, and then all of a sudden I got invited. So I was like, "Crap! I got to do it now." And so it's more of a bucket list challenge for me, mentally and physically, to see how far I can push myself, and the journey is just gonna be life changing for me. So I'm up for it.
I love that. I'll be cheering from you,
Thank you.
likely with like a cooler of water. And if you need a Gatorade, I'll throw you one.
I'm gonna need a lot. I'm gonna need a cold bath on an RV.
Yes, you are. I want to
Yeah.
double click into something that you just mentioned, though. Running as your outlet for stress and times that you might feel emotionally or mentally down.
Yes.
Um, do you have those kinds of feelings ever, and you attribute them to what you're doing online or social media in particular?
Yes, because dealing with this space and like especially when I was with the guys, we dealt with extreme highs and extreme lows. There was no middle. So you had to be able to balance it yourself, and sometimes it's not easy. Oh, most of the time it wasn't easy at all. So I would definitely use running as my like morning outlet to start my day, to be able to control my anxiety that I would have just trying to balance hoarding cats, basically, in a sense. Um, and um, yeah, I think as I after I left phase and I went through certain emotional challenges of just change, because I went from a huge organization to trying to build a brand by myself, and it's not easy at all. You go through these phases of like, am I doing everything right or am I doing everything wrong? Why am I not getting the engagement that I
Mm,
felt like I could get? All those little things play a part in your head, and you got to realize it's not that it shouldn't be that serious. You should be having fun doing this stuff. And when it gets to this part where you're overwhelmed about everything you're doing, it becomes work, and I don't want it to feel work to me. So
sure.
I would always try to find these outlets to like distract me from like making this influencer world become something that's stressful to me, and I don't want that because I've had a lot of fun. I've the Being an influencer or a content creator has changed my life. Um, I grew up structured where you had to go to college, or make sure your 9 to 5 is a great job to build security, and the influencer world is the complete opposite. You don't know if it's gonna be successful for the next 20 years or it can end tomorrow. So it's definitely
Sure.
something.
Yeah, I mean, I can relate a little bit. I did the 9 to 5, went to college, got my MBA, and I had structure and stability for so long. And it wasn't until this past March that I decided to pursue going out on my own.
Yes.
And the loneliness that really nobody talks about that you feel, because you do feel a little isolated, like, hey, I'm kind of doing this on my own, even though you might have a great team surrounding you. At the end of the day, it's make or break for you personally.
Yes.
So why is it, when you think about your online presence and how important that is to your household income, obviously that's what's your main revenue driver. Why is control of your name, image, and likeness so important when you're an influencer or maybe even a professional athlete?
It's very important because it's your brand, right? It's your likeness, and people can use it to leverage for themselves. And to be honest, that's dangerous, because if someone takes your images and they're using it for their own purpose, it might not be the best for you, because it could affect potential brands big brands at that, that, say if you have 1 million followers, right? We're gonna potentially get that one day, right? For the both of us,
Yeah,
and
manifest, right?
manifest it.
Love it.
But say someone hacks your phone and steals something that is private to you, right? And they post it on social media. That right there can ruin $100,000, $200,000 brand deal with a big brand that you dreamt of working with because they saw something. And if you're like family friendly and whatnot, and you're posting something that's not, well, someone that posted something that's not, it could definitely damage your image and likeness and ruin potential brands that you want to work with, and that's a nightmare because I've seen it happen with the guys, and that affected the whole group. It affected all of us, and
Walk me through that.
so we got one of the guys got hacked. His Snapchat got hacked, and it showed us hitting a bong, and it was literally well, it wasn't me. It was them that was hitting the bong, and obviously they were old enough at the time to do it, but
Sure.
their fan base was young, so all these
Mm.
kids saw it and were just like traumatized, and we had to do damage control and try to get it taken down, and it's a process trying to do all that stuff sometimes, and if you don't know how to do it, it's a nightmare. All
How
you can
how do
do,
you take something down?
to be
Like you,
honest.
okay, the guy had the bong video. How long did it take for it to get taken down, and what did he have to do?
Well, luckily, he was able to like he found out who it was and he reached out
Mm,
to him, and it was just a fan that wanted engagement with him, and he took it
got it.
down. But he was lucky, Some other people got to go through. I want to say legal, like will go through lawyers. I don't.
Wow.
To be honest, I don't really know how everything can be for damage control because for me, whoever's used my likeness, I reached out. If they do it, if they take it down, or if they no longer post, I win. And our fan base was pretty toxic in the moment, so they would, if I announce that someone is using my likeness, they would definitely reach out to that person, and it's not healthy. I mean, obviously they would be pretty toxic towards him to either take it down or say that you're fake or whatnot. I don't want that energy towards anybody, regardless if they're using my likeness or not. But I try my best to just communicate with that person who's ever using my page and just
How
because
many times has this happened?
for me, the biggest one that happened is someone created a YouTube page. And at that time, I was just starting with Phase. It was probably my first year in, and I promised the guys I wasn't gonna start a YouTube page because I wanted my work to focus on them and help them grow their page and the team. Um, and I couldn't do all that and run a page with having to clean, cook for them and manage the house and help them with their pages. So I just told them, I was like, guys, I promise I'm not going to create a page right now and just work on you guys. And then all of a sudden, as I'm just growing with them, people were hitting me up saying, hey, I'm not getting any notifications about your giveaway. Um, how do I win? And I'm like, what giveaway is this?
You're like,
And
say
I'm like,
what?
I didn't respond. I'm like, because literally I didn't want to, I'm not responding to them, but I just started seeing messages. And I'm like, what is going on? I was like, you know what? Let me see what they're talking about. I reached out to one of the fans that was asking me about the giveaway, and he sent me the page, and it said Phase Cheo, and he has like all these things of me, and there was 4 videos that he uploaded. He had 20,000 subscribers, and each video went from like 9,000 to 40,000 views. And I'm just like,
What?
no way this is actually really happening. That he's literally just stealing videos from of the guys and something that I would post. And then he was doing like fake giveaways. And then that's when I was like, okay, like I don't want this happening. Like the pages, I really don't. I try not to even bother with the pages, but if you're giving giveaways and doing all this other stuff
Sure.
where it's affecting the fans and then it's making me look like I'm this person that's doing all this stuff and not, I don't like that. I try my best to give a great example as a human being as possible. So, I didn't appreciate that. So I reached out to him and he kept the page, but he no longer posts. So I left it at that. That was the biggest, I want to say, fake page made of me ever. But there's plenty of like small pages people would create, and even of my daughter, which is kind of crazy. Um, but it's hard to it really is hard to control this type of stuff on the internet, and I don't know how to I don't know how to stop it, to be honest, because there's securities, but then I think if we, I don't know, I really don't know. It's really challenging to figure out how to be able to control your likeness and your face in social media because anybody can. It's so big. The space is so big. How do you control it? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, you said something earlier that really struck me. You said if you're able to get a fake profile or fake post taken down, that's a win, right? That's where we
Yeah.
become in terms of like we just accept that this is happening all the time and this is the norm. I guess what do you do? And I really want to get to your daughter, so I
Yeah.
want to talk to you at the parent angle, but for your brand and your adult brand, how do you protect that now? What are you doing?
For for me and my brand now, I feel I really don't have any people making profiles of me, which I'm glad.
Mm-hmm.
But if someone were to do, I feel like I don't post anything really to make myself like look bad. So they don't first they don't have that on me. But if they do create a page, I literally if all I can do is just ask nicely, unless I want to spend money on a lawyer to go through the whole process. I guess that's what I would have to do to take things down. But I don't know. I feel like I just try to give a great image, bring a great image to the influencer space where I just have people that if they do create a page of me, it's like more of a fan base type of situation, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than someone trying to create something to profit off of. But that happens all the times, even with brands. They would use your likeness in a way to profit without you knowing. And
How are they doing that?
I mean, they can do it easily by if you say you're using their product, right? You hold their product and you post a story. They're able if you don't really know like the laws of things, like they can either post it and that's free marketing for them. It's if they post it on their page, um, especially like a big brand,
Sure.
they would pay thousands of dollars for that post, but they got it for free, taking it from something that you posted on the story or whatnot, and that's using your likeness, right? And
Totally.
a lot of people lose out on those opportunities because you just don't know. And if you don't ask them to take it down or give them a rate, like, hey, you can keep the picture up, but I would like a rate, and then give it to them and see where it goes. They'll either take it down or they'll pay you.
So 10 years you've been in the online space, growing your presence and your popularity. If
Yes.
you had to ballpark how much money you've lost towards online fraud, impersonation, the YouTube channel, all the nonsense that you've encountered, what do you think that number is?
Um, I would say probably a couple 100,000
A couple $100,000?
off of
Wow.
opportunities
Sure.
and likeness used. Yeah, because even I could say even back when I was with the group, I was always in the videos and I didn't profit from the videos that I was
Mm.
in. So that's a thing that would I would say using my likeness, I missed out on opportunities, but I just looked at it as me helping the group, and it was work in a sense. But officially it wasn't, because technically all that stuff is outside of the practice of what I was doing, but I was just doing it out of, love for the team and the group and making sure that, what we got done was happening. So I would say that I could say that plays a big part of lost opportunity as far as
Sure.
money made for myself.
Well, let's focus on the positive. Can you
No,
talk to us?
it's also
Oh,
positive. Like I
no,
look
no,
at it. Go
I
ahead,
just,
sorry.
I'm curious. No, no, it's okay. I'm just more curious. Like, you've lost money, that sucks. But also, this is your livelihood. Can you
Yes.
explain to us those that like aren't influencers? I mean, I don't sell products, so I don't really know how that works. How are you able to profit off of your NIL today? And like, how are you doing that with different brands?
So with each platform is different. There's so many ways to make money as an influencer now. For YouTube, their video monetization is basically they go by how long people watch your videos and the ads you put into it, and that was the bread and butter for the beginning of our the group. So say you had a 10-minute video and you had a certain amount of ads in the video. So if I had three ads in a video, it would go in the CPM, which is like the views per video. So it'll be like a dollar per thousand views, right? If I had three ads in it, if they watched it through, the
Mm.
ads would double. So it'll go from $1, $2 to $3 per ad, and then per thousand views. So that was how we were making the beginning stages of income with as an influencer. Um, when I got into the Instagram space, it was more brand deals. So my engagement was high at the moment, so they were able to like my first brand deal. My first brand deal was with Cup Noodles, and it was an $8,000 deal to me, and I was just like, oh my God, like what? This is insane. This is life changing to me because I would have never thought someone would pay me $8,000 to just show up to an event and have a simple recipe to create it, and post one post. And that was the beginning of how I scaled things as well because you got to know your value as well. If you don't know your value, a lot of influencers get taken advantage of, and you got to learn that space too. It's there's a whole lot of things, but influencer space for Instagram brand deals are big for me. Um, and again, it's your engagement. If you have high engagement, you get higher rates. If you get lower engagements, that's when they work things like gifting, and they try to see how to build a relationship with them. And if they see that you can still sell the brand with the engagement you have, that's when you can get bigger brand deal payouts.
Okay, listeners, did you hear that? That's a better way for you to get bigger deals on influencing strategies.
Well, yeah. So, like, if you're trying to just build relationships with brands, I think now it's a lot hard. It's a lot harder to get brand deals now than the time I started getting brand deals because we were the beginning of all this stuff. So companies were throwing higher rates at us because at the time, businesses and us, we didn't know how to scale it. So like companies could just literally throw loads of money at you, not knowing what they're doing, or some of us would just not even know how much we could sell, and it was different back then. Now it's more scaled, it's more measured out, so it's harder to get those types of brand deals. But if you're getting high engagement, which meaning like, build your community. And I think that's the best part is having a community to support you because if the brands see that, then you have the biggest chance to get the best brand deals you can get out there. Because it shows that, they listen to you, they're inspired by you, and for a business, that's amazing. So I think that's the best way is to build your community, and then from there, do a lot of research on your niche and how to scale it that way. And you can definitely push higher rates that can change your life with brand deals.
Yeah, I love when you said that your community in particular, if they notice something maybe that's being misused on your NIL or, something that seems like it might not be you, they're going to stick up for you. So it's really important to have like those people you can count on that are going to, if they see something, they're going to say something.
Yes, and it's a gift and a curse because if you become too brand this, brand that, the community will call you out as well, and that doesn't look
Mm,
good. So you got to be careful to kind of like keep it a little natural. And I mean, some people it doesn't matter. They can just be a complete brand, and that's how they present their stuff. It's great for their aesthetic, and it works for them, but it doesn't work for everybody. As you can see, like a lot of the people that are huge right now, they don't go by aesthetic. They're just that personality, and it just gravitates everything that they do because they're having fun, and it works that way for them.
sure.
Um, but it's there's so many ways. I when it comes to making money on social media now, like right now, the biggest platforms I want to say are, which are kind of crazy, is like Facebook and Snapchat. They're the biggest profiting businesses right now that are just as far as like monetizing off of your platform and like stories and posts. They have creator program. I think Facebook right now has a creator program that's paying people for 3 months to post, and they help push your engagement. And that's amazing because it makes it. And you start from literally zero. You don't if you don't have a Facebook page that's popular, it doesn't matter. They just want to they just see if you had a platform before, and you can reuse your content from the other platform and post on your Facebook page. And yeah, they monetize everything from your stories, reels, and regular posts. And they push your page to get engagement and followers. And I think that's amazing to help grow because especially in the US, I don't think Facebook is generate like the younger generation, they don't use it at all. So for this, it's a great way to push back for the because I think everywhere else in the country in the world they use Facebook, but here in the United
Mm.
States it's like so outdated. And I think they're trying to figure out ways to build it again. And the same with Snapchat. Snapchat's used everywhere around the world. Here, it died out for a little bit, but it's gaining back its momentum, and creators getting paid on Snapchat is it's ridiculous. The rates that they're making on there. I'm not making it personally, but I know a few friends that are living the good life off of it, and hopefully one day I could join them. But it's amazing to see how the rates that they can make off of it. I've seen people make 70,000, $100,000 in a month off of Snapchat.
It's wild. Okay, I have a question. You mentioned Facebook. It's not really big in the US, but as an elder millennial, I'm a heavy
Yes.
Facebook user.
Oh yes.
Um,
Like same. Growing up, I mean, it was everything,
yeah,
and it was the
that was
first.
like what we used.
Yeah, it was the first platform that we shared everything, and but I think it died. I mean, it definitely died out when Instagram and all these other platforms came out, and it wasn't used as much. But yeah, it's insane how much it's changed.
Yeah, it's wild. And even to see all of the change that Zuckerberg has, made with the platform, pouring millions of dollars into AI and what that means. And then we start to think about, okay, you mentioned earlier that your brand is relatively just very good and you're a super good guy and you post just nice human things. Do you worry about things like AI deep fakes and that stealing or impersonating you in a way that doesn't adequately reflect who you are?
Yes, but at the same time, it's like how much can I control? How much can I truly control? If I can control like to have myself not deepfaked, that would mean I can't use the platform if I
Mm,
wanted to edit with something, right? Because like they're I want to say terms and conditions, right? If I want to use the platform, I gotta say yes, or if I don't, I can't use it at all, you know? So
Sure.
it's like playing it's I don't know. It's tough. It's a question that's really hard for me because I've been thinking about it for a little bit, some time now. It's like how can we change this? Like how can we change the privacy or the I'm gonna say our security to the point where if someone does use my face and how does it recognize in such a big space that it's my face and take it down. Like, I don't know. I don't know what's the process that it would take for that. Yes, AI
Yeah.
is amazing but I don't think it could solve everything as far as like helping it security, like figure out, like identify that this is me and not somebody
Sure.
else.
Sure. And it's crazy to me, like, you do encounter an example of, hey, this person stole my picture and they're using it on their new profile. Um, I think about those things, and I don't know if we've been able to really talk about it in depth, but essentially, like, I've spent some of the summer up in Washington, D.C., talking
Yes.
with legislators around what it means to be able to quickly take things down. And when people falsely market themselves or say they are something that they're not, how do we address that from a law perspective? So curious,
Yes.
since you're so heavily in this space, if you could, draft a bill, or what would you like to see happen from a legislation perspective to hold the platforms accountable?
That's tough. I mean, I definitely would say like if they can come up with some type of it's so hard. It's so hard to figure out. I mean, I think if they had an idea of it, they would have had it done. Uh, but I mean, the more security, the more better. I just feel like I don't know how they can either they have um some type of identification scan, like, uh, verifying certain ID, like your like official IDs, and then going through an AI process that would come up with the security to identify you if you ever get popped up. I don't know. I just don't know if we're there yet, and I don't know. Am I answering this right, or I'm trying to
You
think.
are. And I just want all the listeners to know I did not pay Cheo to say that. So that is just, we're just going to leave it at that. Okay. I want to
Okay.
pivot here.
Yes.
Let's talk about our younger generations. You and I both have young children. Yours is a
Yes.
little bit older than mine, but I'm quickly behind you.
Okay.
And we have little girls.
Yes.
When we think about the Generation Zs and the Alphas, whose entire existence has pretty much been online. I don't know about you, but my daughter had an iPad in her hand at 4 months old and was swiping.
Early. Early.
Right? So like
They
she
became better in technology than us by the age of 3.
Yeah,
So
100%. Like my mom, my daughter's 7, and she'll be like, "Mom, I can't believe you don't know how to do that." And I'm like, "I literally am the CEO of a technology company." You know what I mean? So she thinks I'm just way behind the times. But when we think about the younger generation, what are some of the things that you, as someone that's been so experienced and professional in this space for so long, would want to warn or let that group that's entering adulthood know around just how to better protect themselves and their reputation?
I think it's like it's we can only parent them to a certain degree. I feel like they're a lot smarter than us in this situation. They've been um, in technology their whole life, so these social platforms, these are the leading kids of catfishing. They love to create profiles just to be on platforms. It's not like they're
Mm.
doing anything to be, in a bad way. They just love the platform, and in order for them to use it, they have to be a certain age to interact or whatnot. Because I think like TikTok, you had to be a certain age to comment or like a certain thing, or you can't upload. And my daughter's she's a creative. She's in gymnastics. She loves to express her feelings through content as well.
And how
Um,
old is
uh,
she?
11.
11. Okay. So how is she
Yes.
doing this? Does she have, what platforms is she on?
Well, she's not on the platform right now, but she was
Okay.
on TikTok. There was a
Uh-oh,
moment.
something
Yes.
happened.
Well, so she's very artsy. There was a art page she wanted to create. She would paint on canvases, and a lot of people loved them. So she wanted to just like have a little business going on. So she started selling canvases of art that she would draw,
Oh my God,
and
I
she
love
ended up
that.
posting it. It was great. She made $80 off of one picture at one time. I
Good
was like,
for her.
"You're a better entrepreneur than I am at the moment."
She's
I
trying
gotta
to show
figure out.
you up.
Oh, she's and I would love that. I would love for her to overcome whatever I accomplish. But in order for her to have these pages, she would just create, she had to lie, basically, first of all, like, because you got to put in a certain age. And she created her page. Um, but then she started also posting about things she loved to do on gymnastics. And that's showing her. For me, showing just the art is great, but when you're starting to show yourself and
Hmm.
things that can become a little bit more personal, it gets a little scary because just like you just don't know what's out there. We deal with pedophiles, we deal with just anything, and even the cyberbullying, and at such a young age, that can mentally like traumatize you, especially with the cyberbullying. Obviously, pedophiles is a scary situation, but what these kids are dealing with more are the cyberbullying with between friends,
Hmm.
the people they're socially, communicating on, even what is it, Roblox, like super toxic communities, and they're all in it, all day. Because we don't notice it. We're just going about our day, and they're on it with their iPads, dealing with comments, and then people, friends that are, like we've had our generation of bullying is completely different than the bullying that they're dealing with, and I must say it's I feel like people are that are bullying on the internet feel like they're so much bigger than they are. So the way they talk to people, it makes them feel so low. And that happened to my daughter at one point where she was getting bullied about something. And
Because of something that she had posted, or walk
uh,
us through
s-
that.
so somebody created a fake page on her. One of one of her friends created a fake page, and there was a moment where they weren't friends anymore. So she posted something on TikTok against my daughter and was
So
posting
like
her
Mean Girl
pictures,
style.
mean girl style, and
Oh, I don't like that.
you girls can get
Yes,
really
especially at
mean,
that age.
especially at that age. They're
Oh
not
my
11, they're
gosh.
like 18, and it's like
Yes.
it's very brutal. So I just I just try my best to let her know that she can't let these comments and stuff get to her because they're just words, they're not really actions. But if you are taking in these words, I mean, words are just as powerful because that's all you know. That's their way of communication. Um, so I just told her, like, you can't let this stuff affect you. It's not real. I've dealt with, I told her I've dealt with people talking trash about me, even if I'm not presenting anything bad, like people would hate regardless, and you just gotta let them talk. If you're responding to them, then they win. If not, to me, it was just like if I don't respond to them, I'm not giving them the energy they want. They want me to respond. So I always told her that I'm like, you can't respond to these type of negative situations, and if these are people that I think you need to have a conversation with them, and if it doesn't get any better, then that's when we bring the parents involved, where I would notify the parents like, hey, like, um, there's something going on between the kids. Let's figure this out. Because I'm not gonna go to someone's parents and say, hey, like your daughter or your son's doing this and he needs to
Sure.
stop it because I don't know what's going on with him as well.
Mm.
He or she, they could be going through something and they're just taking it out on my daughter. So it's all about just communication and figuring it out together as a team between the parents and the kids and making it a healthy atmosphere that way. I can't, besides that, I don't know as far as information as how to control them between getting all their images taken. it's very hard, especially when these kids are have iPads or just technology that they can take pictures and videos anywhere without you knowing,
Hmm.
regardless if you're watching over their stuff or not. They're gonna find a way. Like she's been banned on TikTok. Her brother's been banned on Twitch. It's like I was like I'm looking at these kids. I'm like, how do you get banned from all this stuff? And you guys haven't even become of age yet. And I'm like,
Especially with you as their dad, like
I
somebody that's
know.
like an OG in the space, right?
Yeah,
Um,
it's crazy, but
okay, so no parental judgment at all. But how did you find out about? You said that she kind of went behind your back on like the art, and then it turned into like more personal stuff. How did you find out that the profile was up? And then also, what led to both of you finding out about somebody stealing her likeness and creating that fake page?
her mother goes through. Her mother would check frequently of the conversations she has with her friends, and the page. It was like to me, it was just like it's okay as long as again it's like she's not posting anything inappropriate. If she was posting something of herself, it was to be of something that's most appropriate.
Sure, and she's innocent, and she just likes gymnastics and her friends and nail
Exactly. She's
polish,
just being
and
creative, and I just want her to keep
yeah,
that creativity. I don't want her to feel like she's doing something bad,
sure.
because of how our world works. And it's just like,
How do
I
we
just want.
protect them?
How do we protect them? How do we protect that? Um, Answer is like again, I can't even protect it as an adult. So I'm just
Sure.
trying my best to figure out what are the securities that we can do to protect these kids, but still give them a creative space that lets them flourish. Because these kids are super talented. I mean, I've seen some of these kids come up with stuff that's created better than us, and I was just like, man, like how can we give them more access to do more creative stuff in a positive way without it getting taken advantage of or just abused?
Yeah, no, I hear you. I struggle with how much to put my daughter on the internet because on one facet, I look through my phone and she is literally doing videos like crib style, walking around showing everybody our house.
Yes,
And I'll be
yes.
like, "Who are you talking to?" And she's like, "My followers." And I'm like, "I'm
They
your
have
only follower.
followers.
This is my phone." Like, and she just
Some of their
she
posts would do
hears
better
it.
than ours. Yes.
Yeah, like, and it's good, and she's funny, and I'm like, I would watch this. This kid's cute, but at the same time, I struggle with like, where's the line to allow her to have that outlet, but then also be able to like police her as her parent? Because to your point, like, it is such a open space of non-governance. How do we even protect our kids from things that we don't know about?
Yes.
All
And
right, so I have a question for you.
there's a lot of that. Yes.
There's a lot of that. I am allowing you to be president of the United States tomorrow. Okay,
So much pressure.
you can execute one bill around protecting kids online. What would that bill look like?
For me, if I was president, I would definitely pass a bill that protects the children if there's anything malicious going towards them, to immediately shut it down and go for review, and basic consequences from there, and just to protect our children at all costs. Um, Whether if it's something that I just don't want. I rather get it taken down right away to protect us. Just
No,
uh,
I hear you. Get it taken down, and then there's like a waiting period where they're reviewing it or something. But at
a
least it's
waiting period to
off.
move on, but just at least it's off, so we can just protect the kids
I
right as
love
soon as
that.
possible, because it's dangerous out there, and deep faking everything. Like it can expose people so fast, especially these days. People are getting um, defaked the moment they become something popular, and it's dangerous, especially for our kids. So anything that's geared maliciously towards our children, we got to protect them at all costs. If we could figure a way to have immediate shutdowns once we report it, or even it catches before we even report it, if we can catch to see what's being malicious, where there's actions of words or just showing anything inappropriately, it would automatically shut down, because they have the technology for all that stuff. It needs to be heightened a little bit more, where it catches it right away. And with AI now, I believe it definitely can build a system that would be able to take it down immediately.
I love that answer. Ladies and gentlemen, Cheo for President 2028 coming at you. All right, I've got one more question, and this one's a little bit lighter to end it on a fun note.
Your questions have been amazing. It's making me think a lot more, and I'm definitely going to be doing a lot more research of what I can do because of this podcast. So it definitely inspires me to dive deeper into protecting ourselves and our kids.
I hope that we just got that perfectly recorded because that is exactly the intent of what I'm doing. So thank you. But last question, a little bit lighter, a little bit funner.
Yes.
You've been doing this a while. You're OG in the space. I'm sure you have encountered many characters over the years on various platforms and channels. What is the funniest comment or DM you have ever received?
The funniest comment or DM I've ever received. Well, I used to get this comment all the time on my post. It was, Cheo, make me a sandwich. And every time I would post something, or it would literally be, Cheo, make me a sandwich. Like,
Wait, was it the same person doing it?
Nope,
or was it just everybody would just do it?
It would just be everybody doing it.
Cheo, make me a sandwich.
Cheo, make me a sandwich.
Okay, I love it. What's your what kind of sandwich can you make me? What's your go-to?
I can make you anything, really.
Oh?
It doesn't have to be a sandwich. I love cooking in general. So I would cook a full meal. I would cook a bolognese, garlic bread, you name it.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it. President of 2028, Cheo. Thank you so much for your time. This has been so incredible. Okay, Cheo, everybody loved this episode. How can they find you online?
Yes, you can find me online on Instagram at Ayo_Cheo, AYOO_CHEO. And that is my main platform that I'm using right now. And you guys can join me in my journey for my run from LA to Vegas. I'm going to be posting pretty daily. Actually, I'm going to go for a run right after this.
We are rooting for you. Ayo,
so
Cheo.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this episode. It was so interesting to discover so much more about Cheo and what it's like being an influencer and all the joys and challenges that come with his career path. And I love to hear your comments. Follow me on Instagram at Kaylee Nitchie and let me know what you thought of today's episode. Did you know that you can listen and watch Just Lookin' Out? We just launched our YouTube channel at Just Lookin' Out Podcast. And don't worry if you didn't get all of that. You can find all this info in the episode description as well as a link to apply to be a guest. The Just Lookin' Out podcast and content posted by Safe Her Studios LLC and Kaylee Nitchie is presented solely for general information, educational, and entertainment purposes. The use of information on this podcast or materials linked from the podcast or related sites or social media is at the user's own risk. It is not intended as a substitute for advice of a physician, professional coach, psychotherapist, or other qualified professionals' diagnosis or treatment. Users should not disregard or delay in obtaining medical advice for any medical or mental health condition they may have and should seek the assistance of their healthcare professionals for any such conditions.